Welcome back to the Anxiety Slayer podcast. I'm Shan Vanderleek, here today with my wonderful friend and co-host Ananga Sivyer. Welcome back, Ananga.
Hey, Shan.
Today we're responding to a question from one of our listeners. Can the weather make my anxiety worse? We'll also be talking about the season that's most challenging for anxiety and how to care for yourself so you can pass through it peacefully with as much ease and grace as possible. I know you have a story to share about food and how this kind of ties into our conversation today, and especially salads.
The salad story. Yeah, this is something we heard from a listener some years ago now who wrote in to ask us, can salad make my anxiety worse? She noticed that if she was eating salad for a few days in a row, her anxiety definitely increased. And the answer is yes. And I love that question coming in because so often we feel like, what now? What's making me anxious now? Can it really be the weather? And we get a lot of traffic come to our website asking the question, can the weather make my anxiety worse? Because it's something people are asking because they're experiencing it. And of course, when we're living with others and we have other friends that don't necessarily understand the experience of anxiety, it can just feel like another thing that can come back not empathetically. Oh, it's the weather now. Mm-hmm. It's your salad now. But Ayurveda, India's ancient science of life, gives incredible insight into the fact that this is true and why it's true and what we can do about it to help ourselves feel more balanced, more grounded, and more calm. The clue from salad is that it contains the qualities of the Vata dosha, the Vata type. Ayurveda teaches that like increases like and opposites balance. So Vata is dry, light, cold, rough. That's salad.
Mm-hmm.
Salad is dry, light, cold, and rough. Vata is also has other qualities. It's subtle, it's mobile, and it's clear there are other qualities in there. But those properties are in salad. So when we eat salad, we increase the energy of Vata. And when the energy of Vata gets increased, it increases our anxiety. So that's the clue. And when it comes to the weather, the autumn season is particularly challenging for anxiety sufferers because the autumn weather is dry, light, cold, mm-hmm. rough. It makes your skin chapped. It's windy. It's moving. Those are the properties of Vata. Those are the properties of autumn. So that autumn season brings the Vata up. When we understand that and we know how to apply gentle opposites, which is what we'll be talking about today, we can experience a season that feels nourishing, peaceful, calm, and grounded. That's one of the reasons I love Ayurveda so much, is it gives these insights into things that can otherwise feel mysterious. And I particularly love the compassion that brings when we can understand, oh, this is the season I need to take care of this because it's challenging.
Yeah.
Autumn is challenging for people that are living with anxiety, and it's just good to know and good to know how to help yourself.
If you think about that and then apply that to what's happening in the autumn season, and the wind blowing and the storms coming up and the cooler nature, all of that stuff comes into play. And then you feel pretty good when you are ready for it, when you can prepare for it and put yourself in a position of taking action and knowing what helps. And with that, let's talk about what helps.
What really helps is to get in step with the season. If you find yourself dreading, as I used to, some years ago, I would dread the nights drawing in, oh, it's getting darker earlier, it's getting colder, that loss of light would be really hard for me. And I learned to greet the season, and I do it every year now. And I really feel that autumn is a season that needs to be met where it is, needs to be greeted, and we need to get in step with the season, not to resist or resent it, but to go out and find its bounty and its beauty and get to know it and work with it and protect ourselves from its challenging elements. When we live closer to nature and we notice what's going on around us, we naturally adjust with the seasons. So harvesting apples, nuts, pumpkins, firewood, they're all part of the natural transition into autumn. A friend was sharing this morning how she's out madly gathering all kinds of seed heads and ferns and drying them. She runs a floristry business and she's out harvesting treasures.
Me too.
Yeah. Squirreling around in that changing, in that transitional season. But when we're in our heated homes and cars and under artificial light, and we've got this kind of mono season indoors where it's climatically controlled and we're sealed in this box and we're just kind of working under the same light, that's challenging for us. And we expect to do the same things and eat the same things all year round. That's where we get into trouble. So I always recommend bringing some treasures of the season in: acorns, oak leaves, some dried flowers, making a little corner in your home, a display in your home, a nod to the season, just to get in step is the first thing that can really help.
Yeah, if you saw my dining room table right now, you would just crack up, because everything from driftwood to acorns to pine cones, and to just have this beautiful display of the bounty of the season, and to give thanks and memory for where different things were found, or bring it in, and also get outside. Make sure that you can still get out as much as possible to walk and stretch and breathe and make as much of the daylight as you can as the nights close in.
Yeah, really get out and greet it. And when outside, we need to make some adjustments to make sure that we're protected. Our ears are very sensitive to the cold and wind, particularly if you are already of a Vata nature. If that's in your constitution, you might find your ears get quickly achy around wind. So cover your ears. And we're going to be talking about some other things in a moment that you can do to protect yourself when out and about, to meet the season and keep your immunity healthy.
And of course, nutrition is a big part of that, and eating seasonal foods. Last night I made a lemongrass curry with all of the vegetables that came in our recent community share box. So we had some Hubbard squash in there, and we had some little gold potatoes, we had carrots, we had peppers, along with the shallots and lemongrass and garlic and all of these other things. And it was so good. And it was everything from the season. And so warm and rich and oily and wonderful.
That's what we need, really, that seasonal nutrition, and warm your diet up, warm it up. And the key words for anxiety eating anyways: warm, wet, and slightly oily, not greasy, it's not an unhealthy thing. Little oily, little good quality olive oil in your cooking. And definitely in the autumn months, that really doubly applies. So vegetable stews, bringing in seasonal fruits like baked apples with cloves and cinnamon. In Ayurveda, baked apples are recommended for a breakfast that's really nourishing and rich in vitamin C. Of course, the cloves and cinnamon are very cleansing and help reduce congestion. Hot apple juice with ginger and cloves, cinnamon, these things bubbling up on the stove make the house smell good, lift our spirits, and are so good for our immune system.
It's also important to eat regular, nourishing meals. Try not to skip your morning breakfast. Warm, wet breakfasts are perfect for this time of year, perfect for autumn, whether it be oatmeal with almond milk and cinnamon, or a date and almond shake made from soaked dates and hot almond milk blended together with warming. Oh, now I'm going to want that right now. It's so good. It's basically warm almond milk blended with the dates, and then with spices like cinnamon and nutmeg. And one thing that we've talked about over the years about nutmeg is it's a natural sedative that calms the heart. So it's a perfect addition for anxiety sufferers.
Yeah. So to bring that in at bedtime, also a warm cup of almond milk, perhaps with a little raw honey added after you've heated it, and a pinch of nutmeg. really helps settle you in the evening. Sometimes I have cereal coffee with a pinch of cinnamon and nutmeg in it. I don't know if you have anything like that where you are, Shan, but here you get these malted barley drinks, cereal drinks. One's called Barley Cup. Another one I love is called Caro. And they're just really nice for the autumn. Sometimes I'll have one as a breakfast drink. Feel very nourishing and very grounding. And in the summer, I wouldn't be interested in them at all. They just don't appeal. But as soon as winter comes in, I think, oh yes, it's time to crack the barley cup. Malted barley, rye, chicory, and then I'll add some cinnamon. And
sounds really good. That's not something that's promoted here. It's, coffee or tea usually in the States, but certainly those things are available at health food stores and some specialty stores. So if you're listening in the US and you're wondering about that, you can find it. It just might be a little bit more of a treasure hunt.
Yeah, just look around. I'm just saying the names just in case you can see them in your health food stores over there. But really nourishing grains, grounding, something a little bit more substantial coming into the autumn and winter seasons.
There is a wonderful tea, an Ayurvedic blend of tea that we enjoy and recommend. And Ananga, would you share that? You call it CCF tea?
Yeah, CCF tea. Yeah, it's a really popular Ayurvedic tea. It's a blend of coriander, cumin, and fennel whole seeds. And so seeds that you can get in any grocery store quite easily. And it's sipped hot after meals and between meals for healthy digestion, particularly in the autumn and winter months. It's very cleansing, it's anti-inflammatory, and it's easy to make at home. If you want to make a large quantity, you can just get an airtight jar and take half a cup each of the seeds or quarter of a cup, depending on your packet size. You just want equal quantities of each seed.
Okay.
So, for example, half a cup each of cumin, coriander, and fennel seeds. Put them in a glass jar and shake them well to mix. And then each morning add a heaped teaspoon of the blend to hot water and let it steep for 5 to 10 minutes. You could simmer it a little on the stove if you want a slightly stronger blend. And it should be consumed hot. So one way to do that is to put that in a thermos and keep that with you during the day and just sip some of that tea between meals. Heat opens the blood vessels. It increases circulation. It's deeply cleansing to the digestive system.
And it tastes really good.
Yeah, it's a really nice, mild, easy taste. Cold drinks are constricting, and cold drinks also mimic that or contain that property of autumn that we're trying to keep in check. So for drinks, they should be warm. Benefit of this tea is that it increases blood circulation. It's good for lymphatic circulation, and it's cleansing to the digestive system to keep everything working well and keep it free from congestion. So simple and such a nice addition.
And I'd also like to add that ginger tea is also a nice addition as well. That's something that really I start drinking as soon as the weather starts to cool, and it really helps with congestion because I get congestion between summer and fall and between winter and spring when the congestion comes up, which is natural, and ginger really helps at that time. So whether it's fresh slices of ginger in a flask with some hot water and just let them steep, or I love the 3 ginger tea made by Hakka. It's really yummy.
Yeah, really nice. Yeah, definitely a great addition. And first thing in the morning, some slices of ginger in hot water with a squeeze of fresh lemon juice is also very cleansing. Extremely good for the digestive system, and it helps keep dryness out of the digestive system. In the full months, we can be more prone to dry digestion. We can be prone to constipation. If that's happening, it's a sign that vata is increasing, and lemon juice has a very beneficial effect on that. So just a simple thing, just to routinely start your day with at this time of year, I always begin my day with a cup of warm water with a squeeze of lemon juice and a few slices of fresh ginger, and then you're good to go. Nicely hydrated and really taking care of yourself.
The other trick or tip that we'd like to share is oil as seasonal protection. A really nice sesame oil is what I prefer, and I think that's what you prefer as well, Ananga. But there's also almond oil is nice. Oil massage is such a beautiful act of self-care, and especially this time of year when our skin gets more dry, and if you're more vata prone anyway, you can balance this out by putting this oil on your body, spreading it around. Be sure to protect yourself if you're gonna oil up head to toe, and then taking a nice hot bath. It's such a lovely thing, a gift to give to yourself, the stillness of the practice, balancing your entire mind, body, soul with the nice grounding touch, which is always beneficial for calming anxiety. But also to remember before you go out in the world to oil up your ears, the inside of your ears, just a little bit of oil on the end of a cotton tip or Q-tip, a little bit in your nostrils, a little bit in your belly button. That's something that's helped me so much over the years. And then also, as we mentioned earlier, to bundle up and protect your ears, because that's a really important. So even with the oil in there, you still want to, whether you have a hat or a bandana or something that you can protect your ears with when you go out. It's really, really going to be helpful for you. Oil massage is awesome. Do it. You deserve it.
And if you look at oil, it has all the opposite qualities.
It does.
Of the qualities of autumn. So that's why it's so effective, because it's the opposite to dry and light and cold and rough. So it brings about that very gentle opposite, which is where the healing magic of Ayurveda lies. Surprisingly effective if you can do that 2 or 3 times a week for your anxiety, also for your immune system. Really a beautiful practice.
It really is. Let's shift gears into things to avoid during the autumn season.
Cold things.
Yes. Phase out all of the cold foods that you can. And that includes breakfast smoothies, cold drinks. We want to keep ice out of the mix. Salads.
Yeah.
This isn't a time to skip meals or begin fasting. After our vacation, I thought, I think I'd like to do some juicing, just because we ate a little bit more than we normally would, and we sometimes had some things that weren't as healthy as we normally would have, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I realized my body did not want that. My body doesn't want cold juice over the next few days. So I'd rather drink teas and incorporate different things, whether it be chaga or reishi or elderberry. There's just different things that I can do in place of that.
That's the key, isn't it? Is that seasonal adjustment. It's like, no, my body doesn't need this at this season. This isn't beneficial to me. There's just that, flowing with the season. We're so accustomed to liking ice in our drinks, and it's really not helpful for our digestion. It causes constriction. It causes congestion. So it's really not time for cold ice drinks or breakfast smoothies with ice. It's such a shock to the stomach. It's not helpful. They're not helpful any time of the year, smoothies with ice in. But particularly this time of year, going with your intuition to warm it up and do things a different way. And that's all part of self-healing, is having those different varieties of things that we can bring in at different times of the year.
You also want to avoid late nights. Try to make your evenings as relaxing as possible. Ananga and I have talked many, many times about creating a bedtime ritual, an evening ritual that is just sweet and supportive and is, chilled out as possible. You want to get away from screens and try to be in bed by 10 if you can. I know for some of you that sounds crazy, but if you try it, if you just let yourself try it, I think you're going to see a big difference. I know that I have, and I used to be a night owl, and I no longer am. What else helps? Let's see. Of course, we talked about it a little bit, but warm baths. Warm baths are magic. If you have a bathtub, get in it.
And you can add nice ingredients to your bath to support you during this time of year. Lavender, oatmeal, and tie up a little muslin bag of oatmeal under the hot tap and let it run. Very softening, very nourishing to the skin. Magnesium salts or Epsom salts, also really helpful.
And I also sometimes do chamomile.
Mm,
It's really nice for your skin as well. Taking a bath, again, balances out the dry nature of autumn. So if you can, do it. And if you only have a shower, it still would be helpful to take a nice warm shower, and you can still incorporate these other things. You can still find different ingredients or make your own for the shower that has these other items, whether it be lavender or chamomile or oatmeal or the Epsom salts right in them, and just make the best of it and realize that you're giving yourself a gift.
yeah,
And remember that anxiety and overwhelm go hand in hand. And autumn invites us to retreat into a deeper self care ritual wherever you possibly can. And that rest and retreat and self care is a perfect balance to the moving and changing nature of autumn. Before we head out today, first of all, thank you, Ananga. I'm glad we had this conversation. We'd also like to say a big thank you to everyone who supported the podcast on Patreon this month. If you found this episode supportive, we hope you'll consider becoming a patron. We have Anxiety Slayer downloads available on Patreon, including our guided relaxations, tapping sessions, and lots of extra resources for calming your anxiety. You can learn more at patreon.com/anxiety slayer. Thanks so much for listening to Anxiety Slayer. We'll see you again next week.